Sorry Sigma, X isn't one of the damage bonus characters this time, so you get to fight these 3 girls instead. Wait, 3 girls? Yes, I mean that. Jokes aside, the White Cat Project collaboration Rockman X DiVE kind of let the Sigma out of the bag, but here he is. Final Sigma W from Mega Man X5 is coming to Rockman X DiVE as a raid boss. You can see some gameplay of how the fight will play out in DiVE, courtesy of the Asian and Japanese trailers. Essentially, he works exactly the same as he did in X5, except his 2 fists will be on screen for the entire time, meaning they're going to be a bigger threat than before since you can't exactly make them go away. On the bright side, the arena is bigger, so you have more room to dodge. As mentioned before, the 3 damage bonus characters are Zero, Valentine Iris, and Valentine CL. Yep, you have to have one of the 2 characters for the banner that's actually going to end right when this raid boss opens up, which is on Wednesday, February 24th. Surprisingly, only Zero other than that. No Ultimate Armor or Awakened Zero, which debuted in X5. Heck, I'm just surprised that X isn't represented at all, considering that in the original X5, there is a chance you'll get that bad ending and then you can't play as Zero for the finale at all. In other words, these choices really just serve to reward the whales. No weapon bonuses either, at least according to the trailer. Other than that, both the artwork and the 3D model for Final Sigma W does look really good. For better or for worse for me, because I was actually quite afraid of this final form when I was a kid playing X5 for the first time. And keep in mind, he was just a JPEG in X5. Now in 2021, seeing this guy with a full 3D model, facial expressions, and even twitching eyes when he tries to attack you, just makes me relive the fear all over again because, man, that's terrifying. In other words, they did a really good job of representing Final Sigma W here. Normally that would be the end of our DiVE news segment, but we do have a new DiVE time with producer Yoda. This particular presentation doesn't have anything new in it, but we do have some data on the most used characters and weapons over the last couple months. So I thought we'd talk about it a bit anyways. First up is the top 10 characters most used in PvP. Number 1 is Omega, which is actually surprising to me. I didn't know he got that much usage in PvP till now. Maybe it's just favoritism. Black Zero at number 2 makes a lot of sense, along with Ferrum, Protoman EXE, and Tax, which are 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively. In fact, I'm surprised Protoman isn't ranked higher in this. At number 6, we have Ultimate Armor X, followed by Awakened Zero, Cinnamon, who is dropping a bit in usage, but still really strong for PvP. Kux at number 9, that's pretty cool to see him in the top 10. And lastly, backing up the party is Mega Man EXE. Here are the top 10 weapons in PvP. Nightmare Sword at number 1 makes a lot of sense once again. I even use that weapon all the time in PvP. Then we have Sniper Buster at number 2 for the high damage output. The Explosive Blower at number 3, another popular weapon for its stun. Bio Buster at number 4, which is interesting because I think that weapon is more useful for PvE, not PvP. Followed by the Gravitational Pulse Buster, another decent buster. Zerker Sword is up next. I heard that sword is pretty good, though I don't have it myself. Muramasa at number 7. This weapon, along with the Ancient Relic at number 9, I'm surprised to see those 2 in the top 10 because definitely weapons like Nightmare Sword and the ZX Saber is a lot more popular. And when I say popular, I mean they're better. Oh, and before you complain about me calling it the ZX Saber, even the producer himself is calling it that. But definitely in the top 10, there is a lot of melee representation, as producer Yoda notes himself. Gee, I wonder why. Only thing I'll say about this list is I'm surprised the Snow Sprayer isn't in the top 10 at all. Either that one's lost its popularity or enough people haven't cracked the code yet with that one. Anyway, let's get away from PvP and talk story mode. Here's the top 10 characters for that mode. Omega, Black Zero, Fax, Kux, Super Mega Man, Sax, Zero, Ferrum, Sigma, and Mega Man EXE. Half of the characters here we just saw in the PvP chart, but we also got another starter S rank in the mix with Fax. Super Mega Man is useful for his triple jump. Sax has his Giga Crush for crowd clearance. Regular Zero isn't too bad with his Raikoha shield. And Sigma is just Sigma. Hey, why wouldn't you want to play as that jolly guy? Meanwhile, top 10 story weapons. A lot of the usual suspects are here. Gravitational Pulse Buster taking the top spot over the Nightmare Sword. We got the standard Z Saber at number 3. Extraordinary Mortar at number 6, which is a really good weapon actually for story mode because you get a shield at a higher rank. Otherwise, it's all about the melee weapons. Rounding it up with the first machine gun type we've seen in here, which is the Scarlet Tyrant at number 10. That's all of our data for now, and with a reminder that next month is DiVE's first anniversary, that's all for producer time, as well as DiVE news in general. So let's move over to the fan game department for a couple of more things to look at. As many of you probably know by now, Adobe Flash is no longer a thing. It's been discontinued by Adobe themselves, and that means a lot of Flash animations and most importantly Flash games have been lost to time. But thankfully for us Mega Man fans, not Rokko-chan, a Mega Man clone Flash game that was created by King Kotobukiya and released in 2011. In simple terms, it's an 8-bit Mega Man game, but what if Mega Man was a little girl? It has everything you could want, an assortment of robot masters to fight, a mad scientist to stop, and of course lots of jumping and shooting. It's actually a pretty good Flash game, and you know, it did come out around a time when a lot of Mega Man games were being cancelled by Capcom, so really it was a big blessing at the time. And since the release, Rokko-chan has gotten a big cult following for it. We had soundtracks, merchandise, art books. The devs even dabbled in trying to create a 3D Rokko-chan game in the style of the Legend series, but who knows if it would actually be finished since the last update was in 2014. According to Rockman Corner, the developers also apparently interested in bringing Rokko-chan to Steam and consoles at some point, which would be pretty sweet if that did happen. Most importantly though, Rokko-chan has been preserved, as it has been converted into an exe file that's playable by a user known as Fabian. So that's at least one game that hasn't been lost to time thanks to Adobe Flash being discontinued. If you want to check out Rokko-chan for yourselves, which you definitely should, we'll have a link to Rockman Corner's awesome write-up about the game that will contain a download link for you to get for yourself. Next up is actually a Mega Man Legends fan game. Not necessarily a typical one though. This game is actually more like if Legends 1 had a PvP mode. This one is programmed by Tredge, map and model cleanup is by Uradamus, and reverse engineering tools were provided by Keon. The footage shows us a PvP battle with Mega Man Volnut versus Teasel Bon as they run and gun around the downtown city from Legends 1. You know, I haven't thought of the Legends series as a multiplayer game before, but you know what? It actually makes quite a bit of sense looking at it now. Of course the gameplay here isn't highly polished, but that's because it's only just a work in progress, so that's to be expected. With a lot more work, this could be something quite special. Assuming it does get released, that is. There's also an Eden Invasion mode on display here, which basically simulates when Mega Man Juno begins the carbon reinitialization program, and thus a ton of Reaper bots are dropped onto the map, and the two players have to work together to clear them out. Both players form a shared team health bar, and you do respawn when you die until that team health bar reaches 0, or you know you run out of time. So there you have it, a true multiplayer Legends experience. This was actually all programmed on the Godot engine, which was also used for a Mega Man Legends 1 remake that was being worked on by Tredge. This recreation was in full 60 FPS, and some jankiness aside, it does look rather impressive. The multiplayer mode that you just saw is basically an addition to this project. That's all I have left to say on this, but I am looking forward to more updates. If you want to check out the Legends 1 recreation and the multiplayer mode for yourself, you can check out the two videos in the description below. Continuing the multiplayer theme, the next project I wanted to shout out is the Open Net Battle engine. As the GitHub page explains, this aims to be an accurate Mega Man Battle Network 6 engine that can be used to program custom enemies, chips, navis, or used to make your own Battle Network story. Have you ever thought of what it'd be like to fight Duo or Alpha in the Battle Network 6 engine? Well, this engine would allow you to do just that. But what really caught my attention about this project is the planned net battle mode. In other words, online multiplayer. When people have asked me what I would want most out of the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, the obvious answer is multiplayer. And I've talked at length in the past about how it would be pretty nice if Capcom made a from the ground up net battle mode where it's just pure online net battles with your friends or randoms. Basically as the side mode to replace the X challenges and all that. Well, the Open Net Battle engine aims to do just that and more. You could even customize your own original homepage or server area where other people can join your server and you can interact with them before having a net battle. This is all a work in progress, of course, but this engine has been in development since 2018, so that's quite a while. And if this engine does pave the way for easily accessible net battles with people, that could be a big freaking deal for the Battle Network community. Even better, this engine is open source, so developers will be able to take a crack at creating their own content with the engine. If you want to learn more about this project, follow the Open Net Battle engine on Twitter for more updates, and you can check out the GitHub page for downloads and more information. Right now, version 2 of the project is underway, and I wish them luck with it. Finishing off the fan game section, I'm going to do a shout out for one fan game and one Mega S game. Let's talk about Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch, the Mega Man game that's been developed in the Doom engine. Yes, I'm finally talking about this one, at least in news form. This is a really high quality Doom version of Mega Man. You got all the first person shooter action you can want, a bunch of special weapons, free for all multiplayer battles, and a ton of variety of stages based on all of the classic series. Speaking of, there's also a really impressive looking story mode where you play as your own self-insert avatar character, where you experience a Mega Man story where each chapter is centered around each of the mainline Mega Man classic games. There's lots of Robot Master mayhem and big bosses to fight too. If you want to see a lot more about 8-Bit Deathmatch, and especially the story mode, I highly recommend you go over to MegaQuin's channel and take a look at his recently completed story mode run. I have played 8-Bit Deathmatch myself around the time it first came out, but it may as well be a wholly different beast now and has had several updates since those early days. Definitely a great game to get into if you like Mega Man and first person shooters in the Doom style. And lastly, here's a reminder that 30XX is now in Steam Early Access. For the uninitiated, 30XX is the sequel to 20XX, which is basically the Mega Man X games but as a roguelike. You have power-up items, randomized stages and stage layouts, and of course permadeath. But if you're not a fan of permadeath, that's okay because 30XX introduces the Mega Mode, which as the name implies, it plays exactly like a Mega Man game would. You can choose which stages to tackle at will, and although the stage layouts are randomized at first, if you happen to die on the stage and retry it again, it will be the exact same stage until you beat it. There's also other Mega Man-like quirks in there, like recovering your health in between stages, and only being able to access the shop in between stages too. What is a new addition to 30XX in both the standard and Mega modes is the ability to combine the powers of two different special weapons. Think of it as something like combining powers in Kirby 64. Definitely try experimenting with all the different possible combinations because they can produce powerful results. Oh, and did I mention that there is a stage builder in 30XX as well? Yep, you can create your own stage layouts, set a difficulty to them, and then upload them to the internet. Players will then be able to play randomized levels using user-created stage layouts. You got all that and the biggest draw of the 20XX and 30XX series, co-op. Yeah, 20XX was doing this before XDive made it cool, and it's still a lot of fun here. Do keep in mind that 30XX is still in early access however, and that means you may experience a bug or two, especially when playing co-op, but in my experience, single player has been perfectly fine. And like I said, this is still a work in progress game, so you're gonna have updates practically every month with new content, and lots of hotfix patches to fix those nasty bugs. I've always been a big fan of 20XX, and it's really thanks to that game that I have a lot of respect for battery stable games and what they do, so I definitely recommend supporting them and all they do. 20XX is on Steam and all the current gen consoles, and 30XX is only on Steam right now, but I think it's definitely worth supporting. The game is going for $20 MSRP right now, but you can get it on sale for $18 at this moment. If 20XX is any indication, that price may go up as the game is developed more and more. So if there's any time to hop in and check it out, now's as good a time as any. Alright, that was a lot of fan content. But we're not done with stuff created by fans for the fans just yet, because now we got some merchandise. And you know, since we're on the topic, let's check in with For Fans by Fans, which has recently released 3 new Mega Man designs. We have Zero Portrait by DiVE, an E-Tank A Day Keeps Dr. Wily Away by Sapphire 1010, and Full Armor X by JMV. All these look amazing, and there's more where that came from. Some of you may remember that Capcom recently had a contest for Fans by Fans, where winners would have their designs be featured on the website, and artists would get a cut of the profit. Those contest winners are all on here on the Mega Man section of the website, and tons more. I was scrolling through the Mega Man section on the website last night, and I was just blown away by all the good content here. You can print these designs on t-shirts, hoodies, prints, pillows, and even mouse pads. Somebody take my wallet away from me before it's empty. And in case that didn't empty your wallet, there's even more Mega Man 11 merchandise on 86.com. In the past, they released an assortment of different Mega Man 11 inspired designs. Some of these shirts I do own, and the poster is actually on my wall right now, so I can definitely speak to the quality of these. But most recently, they have put up orders for a set of Mega Man 11 pins, featuring the Blue Bomber himself, Rush, and the Double Gear System emblem. If these look great to you, I would hurry because there's only 355 of these actually being made. So if you have 26 bucks to drop, maybe you want to pick these up before they're gone forever. And to round up our merchandising for today, just a reminder that the Zero, Nightmare Zero, Rising Fire X, and Fourth Armor X, or should I say Force Armor X model kits from Kotobukiya are all now available. The Rising Fire variant of Force Armor X will be coming in the summer. What's more, Kotobukiya is doing their own showcase livestream in just a few short days on February 27th. This is in place of Wonder Festival, which they will not be attending. You know, due to everybody's favorite virus. Now this upcoming show isn't strictly Mega Man related, but we did have the Second Armor X and Mega Man EXE model kits announced recently, so maybe we'll hear more about those and perhaps more planned. For me, it would be nice to at least know that they aren't quitting the X line after Second Armor X is done, but we'll see. What kind of Mega Man model kits do you want to see? Let us know in the comments. And everybody, thank you so much for watching today's Mega News Roundup, because we are now finished. For more on Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Make sure to check the description for all the relevant links. And until Wednesday, when we face X5 Sigma on stream, rock on and have an awesome day.